From the High Definition Production Center of Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network at Troy, Alabama's International University, this is Troy TrojanVision News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision News for March 1st, 2017. I'm Nathaniel Rodriguez.
And I'm Samantha Charles. Thank you for joining us this evening. With spring break drawing closer every day, Trojan Outreach wants to make sure that all Troy University students stay safe. Sarah Jones shows us what tips and tricks they offered up.
On Tuesday, Trojan Outreach kicked off a spring break safety campaign. Students were able to participate in trivia about alcohol or play water pong while wearing drunk goggles for a chance to win a spring break safety pack in a giveaway, while also learning about being safe on spring break. Trojan Outreach first-year student liaison Emily Call believes safety comes first during spring break.
Kids are going to a bunch of different states. They don't know the local laws. They don't know the local safe spots to get to if there is danger. So it's really important to educate and make sure everybody is as prepared as they can be to go out and have a really great, fun spring break.
Sophomore Taylor McKnight shares her experience learning about alcohol and safety when she wore the drunk goggles.
Honestly, it was pretty eye-opening. It was kind of scary. You could definitely see that you were seeing double and that your perception was really off, and it would be really hard to do anything like getting behind the seat of a car or anything like that to drive.
Call has a few tips for students who are going on spring break trips.
Just make sure you have plenty of sunscreen, keep it applied throughout the day, and then also know your limit with drinking alcohol. A lot of people drink alcohol all throughout the day when you're on a beach out somewhere for spring break. So know the legal limits in your area that you're going to be at, and make sure you know how much you can handle as a person, and that you make sure you stop well before your limit, and that there's always a DD, a designated driver, to keep everybody safe and go from point A to point B.
If you would like to enter the giveaway or learn about spring break safety, you can stop by the Trojan Outreach table Thursday outside the Trojan Center. The giveaway winner will be announced on Thursday at 2 p.m. Sarah Jones, Troy TrojanVision News.
If you didn't get the chance to visit the table, they will be outside of the Trojan Center again tomorrow afternoon.
There's a new club on campus with the goal of combining science, logic, and religion, and last night the Student Government Association made them official. Kyle Shook tells us more.
The SGA has passed a constitution for a new club on campus, Ratio Christy. This new club is a Christian apologetics club for students to share and discuss their views on Christianity and how science and logic relate to it. President and co-founder Genevieve describes how the club got started.
It started a few months ago. Some of us started getting interested in apologetics, and I was really made aware of my need for more apologetics knowledge and learning why I believe what I believe rather than just believing it. And then a few of us went to an apologetics conference over Christmas break where we got to talk to some leaders from Ratio Christy, and they were ready to go and help us start a club chapter here at Troy.
SGA Senator Grant Kinsall supports Trojans coming together to form new clubs.
I think it's awesome. I think part of being just a senator is not necessarily putting my personal beliefs behind things, but just, I need to support no matter what it is, no matter what religion. I need to support anyone who wants to bring anything on campus, no matter what. It's not really my place to put my personal beliefs in passing anything. It's just it's my duty to let everyone else express their own personal beliefs. I don't have to be a part of a certain club in order to pass it.
Members of Ratio Christy will open each meeting with an introduction to a topic for discussion. Then those in attendance will be given an opportunity to share their views.
Since it is a Christian organization, it's called Ratio Christy, which means the reason for Christ. So that's going to be the main focus, but we welcome other people. We want to be able to understand other faiths as well, not just our own. And we want people to be able to understand Christianity from the reasons behind it, whether they are Christian or not, even if just to understand it better.
Kyle Shook, Troy TrojanVision News.
Ratio Christy will hold its first meeting March 13th at 5 p.m. A location has not been set. While dorm life has its perks, it is necessarily not the choice or option for some college students.
So Troy University gave students looking for off-campus housing options and opportunities to see what's available. Kiawana Clark has the story.
A little over 2,200 spots that can be filled on campus, Troy University's Housing and Residence Life organized an off-campus housing fair in order to give students another option for living.
The purpose of the off-campus housing fair is to bring our students together with some rental agencies in order for them to get all the information that they possibly can in one location for their convenience so that they can compare and maybe shop around and find the best deal for them, the best place for them to live for the fall. Because our numbers are growing every year in housing. We wish we could house everybody that wants to be housed on campus. That would be ideal, and we would love that, but unfortunately we only have a limited amount of space, and once it's full, it's full.
4 familiar rental agencies were on site and 2 fairly new companies. The newly constructed district of Dozier wants to offer students an elevated style of living.
We are the newest property in Troy. We offer 3 and 2 bedroom apartments complete with elevators. We have 2 buildings, buildings 1 and 2, that will be ready for move-in May 1st. The rest of our property will be ready for the fall, and our move-in day for the fall is August 1st.
Opening just this past fall semester, Troy Villages at Walnut Creek are offering students a dorm-like living experience with an outdoorsy feel.
We're a new startup property, and we'll be putting in 120 brand new mobile homes, 4-bedroom homes. The best thing about our property is that it's an outdoor setting. So we have a huge lake to fish in, an official-sized soccer field, fire pit. That's been good. It's going to be fun, and then volleyball, and so it's just a good outdoor feeling.
For more information on off-campus housing, visit Troy University's website and under Housing and Residence Life, click on the Off-Campus Housing Information tab. Kwana Clark, Troy, TrojanVision News.
If you missed out on the fair but are interested in the off-campus housing options in Troy, you can visit the university website at troy.edu and search for off-campus housings for a listing of what's available in the Troy area.
Now, the latest in Trojan sports on Troy TrojanVision News.
Thanks for sticking around to hear the latest from Troy TrojanVision Sports. Now, let's slide right into it. Pitcher Austin Crooks returned to the mound for the Trojan baseball team and helped lead Troy to a win against in-state rival UAB last night in Birmingham. Troy picked up a 4-2 win in a midweek bout with the Blazers at Regents Field Tuesday night behind a stellar performance by Austin Crook. And none other than Crook, who missed all of last season with an injury, made a big impact in his first appearance since 2015. He went 6 2/3 innings on the mound and gave up only 5 hits. Troy scored 3 of their 4 runs off a 3-run blast from Trevor Davis. Chase Smart and Mason Rogers led the Trojans with 2 base hits each, while Brendan Lockridge extended his hit streak to 8 games in a row. The Trojans will face Seton Hall and those pesky Jags of South Alabama and southeastern Louisiana at the Cox Diamond Invitational in Pensacola, Florida. First pitch for Friday's game against Seton Hall is set for 2 p.m. And the Trojans softball team split its midweek doubleheader against the Florida A&M Rattlers on Tuesday. The Trojans came out strong and defeated the Rattlers 4-0 in Game 1. All 4 runs came early on. How early? How about the first inning? The Trojans opened up the scoring after a walk and an error, and then Madeline Porter crushed a 2 RBI double to give the Trojans a 3-run lead. Kaylee Hussey followed with a single that scored the 4th run of Game 1 and the last run of Game 1. But a back-and-forth rally fell in favor to the Rattlers in Game 2 as they defeated Troy 6-5. 5 lead changes highlighted the back half of the doubleheader, where they were unable to score in the first game. A 2-run homer rattled off the bat of Florida A&M as they took a 2-0 lead early on. The Trojans took the lead off of 2 singles in the 3rd inning, but the Rattlers answered with 2 more runs of their own. And then in the bottom of the 5th, the Rattlers took the final lead of the game when Tolly Snyder singled home 2 runs. And then once again, the Trojans couldn't get it done in their final at bat, leaving a runner on 3rd base, much like they did on Sunday afternoon. Now, Troy falls to 10-7 on the season and will close out tournament play for the year as they travel to Baton Rouge, Louisiana to compete in the LSU tournament March 3rd through the 5th. The Trojans will face Minnesota, Illinois State, Illinois, and LSU on the trip. And runners, take your mark. And many Trojans will be taking their marks in Mobile this upcoming weekend when the Troy track and field team opens up their outdoor season. But Akeem Montgomery will not be one of those Trojans. The senior is headed to the U.S. Indoor Championships in Albuquerque. Montgomery will be one of few collegiates in the field of professionals. But if Montgomery will feel any emotion, nervousness, excited, pumped, Director Mark Davis says you'll never know.
I think that he's expecting some big things. The one thing about Hakeem, and I know you've interviewed him before, he's not fazed by a whole lot. If he's nervous, you can't tell it. If he's excited, you can't tell it. And I think that he's expecting big things out of himself, but he's approaching it just like it was any other meet that he was going to.
And should Montgomery do well at the U.S. Championships, he would then advance to the World Championships. And at some point, Montgomery will rejoin his mates back on the track, but it won't be this weekend, March 3rd and 4th in Mobile. The women's basketball team went 0-2 this past weekend in conference play out in Texas, and they fell into a tie for third place in the Sun Belt Conference standings. Now, with just two games remaining, the Trojans are wanting to finish strong, and according to senior forward Caitlin Ramirez, practice this week, players have been locked in.
It's to the point where we have to be short and sweet because we have to save our legs, so it's very focused practice. We have to make sure that we're dialed into whatever our coaches are saying. And so it's just very important that everybody's on the same page, including our coaches, including, everybody that's going to help us win.
The Trojans will welcome in the Arkansas teams for their final home games of the season. First on the list is Arkansas State Thursday evening in Trojan Arena at 5:15 p.m.